Hey, hey, hey. Hello,
Hi.
everybody. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We're back. We are back. So, hello, everybody. I'm always so excited at this time on Fridays, especially when I am about to sit down with another amazing woman. My name is Janet Ezocha. Welcome to Janet's Wins with Janet. Wins with Janet. I created these series of interviews as an opportunity to bring stories to you, real stories of real women, but not just any kind of women, amazing women who have done amazing things with their lives, particularly building businesses, corporations, doing things that they love to do, that they're talented in doing. And, also stories on leadership and all that. So I want to welcome you to my session this evening. First of all, if you are on and you're not subscribed to my channel, let's get things first. Please go ahead and subscribe so that you'll get notifications. I know that now. So you'll get notifications whenever we're online. I hope to continue to bring you great content that will inspire you in your journey to entrepreneurship and life in general. So again, welcome. Please go ahead, send a message to your friends, your family members, and let them know we are on. Today, I am so honored. It's a pleasure to have back with me Dr. Mavis B. Mavis, the fabulous Mavis, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. It is such an honor, for you to invite me back for round two. The privilege is mine.
Oh my gosh, that you
I'm
make
really
me.
honored and appreciative to just have this platform to be able to share. So the honor is actually mine.
Thank you. Thank you for making out this time. I truly enjoyed every minute of our session the last time. I mean, I listened to it, I've listened to it several times. I got a lot of positive feedback. People loved how real you were on telling your story, the practical advice and guidance that you provided. So I'm so excited about part two today.
Woo!
Yay! And
Yes.
so today we'll also try to take some live questions. Hopefully, maybe we'll have one or two questions online to take from our audience. So let me start off with your bio, your
Sure.
fantastic bio. Dr. Mavis B established baby convenience after inventing the first Change Pal case. As a busy working professional mom, she found herself struggling with finding her baby's changing items and needing the ultimate organizer to keep all of her baby's essentials packed and ready to go in an easy fashion. With the granting of the first patent by ChangePal in 2012, she was inspired to set her team on a path of continual innovation. Mavis has been blessed with three adorable, and I mean adorable children, all of whom continue to inspire her to create and innovate to help other moms and dads with their parenting journey by inspiring her team to continue to make brilliant travel bags that can save people time, money, and energy while on the go. Dr. Mavis Hope is that Change Pal helps everyone in their parenting journey, travel memories, errand trips, and fun outings by taking the hassle out of looking for needed essentials, enjoy life's precious moments instead. Yes. It's so timely. I'm reading through this bio and I'm like, wow, things are slowly, if you're in the United States, if you're in this part of the world, hopefully wherever you are, things are slowly opening back up. People are looking forward to the summer to get out, get some air, get some sunshine, catch some fun, meet
Yep.
up with folks in person again, get some nice warm hugs. And so it's interesting that we're talking about this Change Pal for people on the go. Wow, Mavis. So, for the benefit of those that may not have caught our part one, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and the Change Pal bag.
Sure. Thank you, Jane. So, like you said, my name is Mavis Imbi, and I am the inventor of Change Pal. But in addition to that, I'm a professional pharmacist and a mom and a wife and a daughter and a sister. And I wear different hats. So Change Pal came about when I had my first child. As a working busy mom at the time, I was hit with the, oh my goodness, this mom thing is serious, reality, and needing something to help me organize my baby's items. Specifically, when you need to change a baby, you need the wipes, you need diapers, you need the ointment, you need the changing pad, and then you need a baby who is going to stay calm for you to change the baby. And so I found myself always looking for these items, and you change a baby a lot, right? Especially when you first have them, you're changing the baby maybe up to 10 times a day. So I'm always like, where's the ointment? I put it here. Where's the wipes? It's where I last used it. The diapers would be somewhere else. The changing pad would be somewhere else. And the baby, they don't wait for us. They need you to move quick and fast. They don't have time for you to be looking for these items. So I shared this the last time we were on our way to our first vacation as a family with our new baby. And I packed everything as a new mom, but I couldn't easily access anything that I packed, So I was like, okay, so this is not good. I have everything with me, but we either have to stop and get the big diaper bag, or you're digging and digging and digging, because I have everything. I have toys, I have clothes, I have this, right? And all I need is food for the baby and changing the baby. Really, that's what you need. And so on our way back, God inspired this design of just having 3 compartments for an organizer where I could lock the 3 things I use the most, which is diapers, wipes, ointment, and changing pad. And that's how it began. That's how we have, the Change Pal. The last time I showed the, evolution of the Change Pal and, the different designs we came up, but this is where we are at now. This is the universal portable diaper bag for the Change Pal design that we have right now. And basically, there are 3 compartments. So the first compartment is for you to be able to keep your wipes, and there's an easy front flap opening. So it's easy to get to wipes without having to, dig everywhere to find wipes. And, with wipes, it's not just changing the baby, but wiping your hands, especially now that we are all out and about and we're still trying to be safe. When you're about to eat, you wipe surfaces. So wipes, I needed them, a lot. So I wanted to make sure that I had easy access to wipes when I needed it. So that's the first compartment. And it fills in this compartment, so you can just literally drop your pack of wipes. It doesn't matter what brand, you pick your favorite brand and you are out and about. If you want to use a white pouch, you can use it as well. And then the second compartment is where you would keep, your diapers. You can also fit a wallet or your phone, whatever, one change of clothes, something that you need to have easy access to. And the thing is that once it's locked, nothing is going to come out. So, for bigger trips, you can just stick this in your big diaper bag or your big mom tote, and then you are ready to go. And then the third compartment is where you would keep these ointments. I used to buy these almost every week because I wouldn't find them. And then I would have a lot of them missing in all kinds of places.
Yes.
So I was just like, we gotta save that money. This is ridiculous, right? So the ointment compartment can also hold a bottle of water or a bottle of milk if you need to have one while you're out with baby. And then it comes with a matching lined changing pad that is fully lined, so it's hygienic, right? And you can use it for baby over and over again, and it's going to stay safe and clean because you can wipe off. One thing I also found when I was looking for diaper bags is that a lot of the diaper bags had decorative changing pads, and I'm like, for a mom, this is not going to work because you use it once and the fabric would get stained, right? Because you're changing baby over and over again. So I wanted something that was safe plastic that you can wipe because it's practical. So we're talking about practicality, functionality, and accessibility of your baby items. And with these designs that we currently have, because of the use of it and the size of it, after mom is out of that baby diaper stage, you can still use it as a regular bag. Um, and I think one thing I forgot to demo the last time is that in addition to being able to use it as a crossbody bag, you can also wear it as a backpack on your back.
Love it.
So, whatever works for you, that's the whole idea. But obviously, getting to this design, this ultimate portable universal wipes design took time. And so that is where the conversation will continue. And I hope that I can give some nuggets as to how we got here and, where we're going. For the audience who might be wondering where you can get this, you can get it on our website, which is mychangepal.com, mychangepal.com. There are also a lot of online retailers that you can get this from. So Macy's.com, buybaby.com, Walmart.com, and Amazon Prime. So depending on the retailer, they might have different designs. Just a caveat to put in there.
I love that color, that gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Something fun and stylish, because just because your mom doesn't mean you have to look like you just came from the gym every day. A lot of times that's what we end up looking like, because you're running around all day. So something to make mom feel good about herself, that she is her before she's a mom.
Absolutely. I think that's fabulous. I always love when you demonstrate that product, because versatility is written all over that bag. Organization. It just amazes me. And it's like you thought about everything, all the needs of not just a mom, a new mom, but women, men, people.
Right.
Really, I love it. And
Thank
it could
you.
easily, it's not just a diaper bag. I think that does not do the Change Pal justice to qualify it as. It's a travel bag,
Right.
you know,
Really, it is a travel
organized.
bag. Yep. But the niche would start with mom, because mom is the first person we had in mind, and then it can spread to dad, to uncles, aunties, grandparents. It can spread to women without kids, right? Some people buy it as just like a lunch bag, and they use the pad as a mat, so they have a clean surface to eat on wherever they are at. Some people buy it for makeup organization. Same thing, have a clean surface to lay your brushes on
Ooh,
when you're going to do your makeup.
ooh.
So, and then the wipes to clean off, whatever you need to. So, like you said, it's versatile. So you use it for what you need it for. That's the whole point. But mom is at the core of it, and it was at the heart of, my motherhood journey that it was born. So we always want to stress that first.
Yes. I hear you. I hear you. I love it. It's the ultimate organizer. Um, I want us to start from square one, because I feel like my focus, Mavis, is mainly on startups, people that are at that phase of either just starting off their businesses, or about to. They have this idea, they just don't know how to implement it. Where do I go from there? So I was really hoping that we could draw from your journey to answer some questions, perhaps, that some of my audience may have,
Sure.
to apply to their lives. You
Mhm.
talk about God inspiring your your vision. We share the same faith, our belief in the Lord Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. But sometimes when you say this, what does that mean? I want you to talk about it. How do you know when a vision, an idea is from God? And I say this because I know personally, and I think a lot of people may be able to identify. It's embarrassing for me to even think about, all the ideas that have run through my heart. I feel so sad sometimes.
We all have them. We all have them. It's not just you. So
I think shame is a good way to describe how I feel. Like, how many ideas have run through my heart
yeah.
that I did not follow through with.
Mhm.
And many of them starting off with questioning God, how do I, is this just my mind? You
Yeah.
know, second guessing myself and just not being sure because we want to follow God's will, His heart, for our lives. How do you know? How could you tell
Right.
that that was
Right.
an inspiration from the Lord?
Yeah, that's a good question, and there are many ways you can go about this. But like you said, as a believer in God and who He is and what He can do, I'll take it from that angle, right? So we are made in the likeness of God, who is a creator to begin with, right? So we believe that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? He created, He made something, but before you can create, He thought about it first, right? He said, let there be light, and there was light. But what's light? Like, where did it come from? How do you know that I'm gonna think about making light and then make it happen? So every journey starts with an idea, right? So even God Himself, the ultimate creator, had to think about these things and then say, let it be, and then it became. So it starts with a thought and then it's created. And so if you are there, like you're saying, and you have these ideas going through your head, it's not shameful. It's who you are because you are made in the likeness of God. You are made in the likeness of your creator. The person who created you has given you this creative mind that's always going, ooh, I can do this better. Ooh, I can do this. Ooh, I can do that. So that is why we have all these ideas, and we can't follow through on all of them. We're not God. We can't say, let there be the fishes and the birds and this and that, and then everything happens, right? But I think it really starts with the thought. And so if a thought comes to my mind and it doesn't leave, it stays there. It starts to form roots. It starts to get a face and it starts to get a dream. You should
Hmm.
probably pursue it a little bit more because that creative mindset, which was gifted to you by your creator, is at work, right? So when we were driving and I got that inspiration that, oh, I can have an organizer that can help me organize things and have it actually zipped up and locked up. It didn't stop there, you know? I came home and I took a box, like literally a paper box, and made 3 compartments. And I just packed my stuff in there and it worked magic. And I'm like, okay, get me that box. Like it works. The concept of lock up your items you need so that things don't fall out, so that they're all together when you need it. It started making sense. So I'm like, okay, the idea has wings now. It has a name, or it has more than just an idea that just came and went, right? It was starting to stay and not leaving me alone, right? And then I did research because we live in a practical world where if you want to make a product, you need to do the research to back up your idea, to back up your thought, to back up what it is that you need to do. I did the research, and at the time, there weren't many organizers that were out there that fulfilled the need for what I was looking for. So there has to be a need for your product if that's what you are looking for, or if it's a service-based, business where you're going to provide services. Because at the end of the day, somebody has to need what you're doing, right? It wouldn't make sense for me to make another jacket and be like, ooh, I have an idea. It will be good. Maybe the design will be different, but it's not necessarily innovative. So you have to have an idea that is new and solves a problem that nobody else is solving at the time, or maybe solving it better or in a different way. So if the idea sticks, you try it out, it works, it makes sense, then you start doing your market into how you can actually bring it to pass. One thing I would say is that sometimes you need an expert's help, right? Because just because you have an idea doesn't mean that you can do the research behind it on your own. You might need an expert to be able to guide you and say, okay, in this market, this is how competitive this market is, or in order to go to market, you have to maybe fulfill X, Y, and Z and see if it's practical for you to be able to do it. And then I would say time constraints. Is this something you're going to start and think it's going to work itself? Starting a business or, trying to go through with a new idea or anything takes time. It takes you investing your energy, your mind, prayers.
Mhm.
I mean, it takes a lot to research, to get what you need to get done. So if you don't have the commitment, or you don't have the patience, or you don't have the resources to be able to go to market, it might not be best to start it, because once you're out, what you put out is your idea. It doesn't matter that you have this wonderful idea in your mind. Once it's executed, what you put out, it's the idea that I would know that you had, right?
Mhm.
And you have to be willing to know that it might not do well, right? So just because you have the idea doesn't mean that as soon as you do your research the right way, you get the expert help to help you figure out if there's a need, what it's going to take to do it. It doesn't mean that after you do all of that and you start, the universe is just going to be like, ah, that's when the work starts, because
Yeah.
you have to now reach the masses. You have to now tell your story, and now you have to now market. You have to now show your product. You have to now see your competition. You have to now see how people are reacting to it. Are you sending out the right message? That's when the work starts, and then the perseverance starts, and that's when you are actually, in for what it is that you're going to do.
Mhm.
So
That's amazing. You outlined how to feel confident, first of all, when you have an idea that God lays in your heart, to just move forward in faith. And you've also laid out an action plan. Because I was going to ask you, what's the action plan? Because again, so many people have ideas laid in their hearts, run through their minds, but the challenge is turning those visions into reality, from that point of vision to like getting it in
right,
motion,
right,
and I hear you talking about doing the research, ensure you're solving a problem,
right.
evaluating the market,
Yes,
and
yes.
analyzing the feasibility. Speaking of market,
Mhm.
first of all, how do you keep up with your competition? Because there
Right.
are a lot of diaper bags out there for moms, nice designs as well. How do you keep up with your competition?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say keep up for me per se, because my goal isn't to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, right? My goal is to make sure that what I am doing is relevant for the time that I'm doing it. And
Mm,
sometimes your competition will validate that. Um, so now you see some diaper bags with like side openings for wipes. So I'm like, okay, they didn't have that before, but now they think it's a good idea too. They validated my idea, which might not be widely out there, but my competition, which could be bigger, like, all these big brands, you just validated that my idea is good. So you see what they're doing, and if it's working and you can learn from them, why not? Not so much copy their design or anything, but do you see them advertising on Facebook? Hey, that might mean that your market could be on Facebook too, because the market that you are also serving is probably also there if your competition is doing that. But you can never keep up, especially when you're a small company, because you'll be discouraged right away, right? You have bigger companies pouring in millions of dollars into just marketing. So if you look at it as like, I'm going to try and keep up, you're going to fail right away, because there's a lot of resources that you might not have access to that they might be able to. So I would say that just be confident in your idea, be confident in the fact that, especially if you feel like God is behind the idea, and move at your pace, right? Until that idea becomes big enough for you to actually then compete, if that is, what we are saying here. So move at your pace and keep doing what you're doing in an excellent way, because excellence, is it's what will differentiate you from a bigger brand that might be doing the same thing as you are. So why would somebody buy a change pile when they can go to the store and buy another diaper bag? They will think about, the details that a regular mom has thought into making a design that would best suit them. That would be the only reason why you get a change pile, because you can carry your baby's items in any bag, right? Just because you're carrying a change pile doesn't mean that you're gonna have a wonderful life, and all of that. You can't use that as a marketing point. But when a mom sees that, oh, you know what, yeah, I use wipes a lot. I thought about it as a mom because I was frustrated looking for wipes everywhere. So the excellence in your details would differentiate you from your competition. And then do what you do well. Sometimes we are trying to keep up with what everyone else is doing when it's not your business to. Stay in your lane at times. If you are great at making diaper bags, stay there. But you see that, oh, another company's making diaper bags, and maybe making baby clothes. I don't know anything about clothing. I don't know what chemical content restrictions they have, so you start going, oh my gosh, I need to be doing everything, when God hasn't called you to that at that period of time, and you're stressing and you're going, God, help me. And he's like, I never told you to do that. Or you're not missing out. Sometimes we have a fear that we're missing out on what other people are doing. It's not your calling. Stay in your lane, do what you're doing, and do it well, do it with excellence. And slowly you're gonna grow. So that was one question. Kind of hard to answer. The point is, just stick with what you're doing, focus on you, do it well, and it will take care of your competition over time.
I like it. Thank you for correcting me. You don't keep up with your competition. You differentiate yourself. You differentiate yourself from your competition by staying focused
Mhm.
on your vision
Mhm.
as you've been led by God. I thank you. That's a lot right there.
Yeah.
How did you know when it was time to begin to share your vision? Some
Right.
people have this thing of, have an idea or a vision, you protect it, be mindful of who to share it with and when.
Yeah.
How did that happen for you? How did you?
Yeah. I mean, I think you should always share it as soon as possible with a trusted audience,
Okay.
right? Because sometimes we have these ideas and we think it's so innovative and it's so, new, when it's not, So you need to share it with another person outside of your brain, right? And say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of. So for me, it was my husband. I'm like, hey, what do you think? And he's like, oh my God, it would help me too. I think it's a great idea. I think you should do it. I think you should do it. So I had one person outside of myself saying, I think your idea is good. You need some kind of validation and somebody you trust who's going to be able to tell you the truth and say, you know what? This is not innovative, or I think the competition out there is a lot. Maybe we should try something else. Not that you just take the advice one way or the other and run with it, but get somebody's input outside of yourself that you trust right away. And then once you do your research and you think you're going to go through with it, then share it with, a second layer of trusted individuals who can guide you and advise you, right, to do what you think you're going to do or not do it. And then I would say for the general population, depending on the idea, I talked about this the last time, make sure your product is then patented, or, before you share it, because the unfortunate thing is that people will steal even patented ideas anyways. Instead of, me sitting down to come up with my own, it's like, what can I make that somebody else is already making? That's just the world we live in. So at least a patent might give you some protection. Is not a guarantee, but perhaps, that can deter people when they know that your product is patented and protected and trademarked and all of that. But I would definitely say, when you have an idea, like you were saying before, you have all these ideas going on, share it. Once an idea comes out, at least it's in a different pool now. It's not part of the hundreds of ideas that are running through our heads. You have one that's now out, that has been shared with someone. So I would say share it as soon as possible. Or even if you don't want to tell a person, write it down. That book, that journal becomes your second witness now. You just have to get it out of your head, so that it's not just you with this idea. It has to come out of your brain at some point, if you want to even entertain doing something with the idea.
I love it. It kind of begins to get a life in itself.
Exactly.
Once you write it
Exactly.
down, once it's in words, and
Exactly.
you read it, it makes sense.
Exactly.
I like that. You mentioned in part one, you talked about attending trade shows because you had zero business experience when you started off. And if you are just joining me, I want to say a big welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me take this time out to introduce myself. My name is Janet Ezocha, and I am creator of Wins with Janet. We meet on Fridays, and I have conversations with wonderful, amazing women like the one I have on today, Dr. Mavis Imbi. She is the creator of the Change Pal, CEO of Baby Convenience. And this is my part two interview with her, talking about her journey into entrepreneurship. Mavis, thank you again for being on here and sharing your story and giving us so much guidance.
My
Practical.
pleasure. My
Uh,
pleasure.
Yeah, you talked about attending trade shows. So generally, first of all, how did you, I think you kind of touched on it the last time, but how did you gain some of the business experience that you needed to start off? And I know you mentioned trade shows. If you can just touch on that and why trade shows were critical for you at that.
Right. Yeah, so I think, for the baby industry at the time, there's a trade show called ABC Kids Expo, which usually has, a lot of baby brands, small and big, everyone is there. And so for me, those trade shows were so essential in the beginning part of my journey, because I was able to meet other inventors and entrepreneurs who were in the same stage as me. So an idea that's new, that is not on the market, that you're trying to promote to buyers, to people. And so depending on the trade show, some trade shows are to consumers, and then there are some that are to buyers, and then there's some that are to both consumers and buyers. And so starting with the trade show and going there and seeing other mompreneurs like myself, who are also either stay-at-home moms or professionals who have an idea trying to promote it, I was like, you know what? So I'm not crazy after all. There are other people who are doing the same thing as me, because to tell you the truth, you have a professional job, and then you have this idea, and you have to invest into an idea that isn't fetching you any income whatsoever. You can for a second think, am I even doing the right thing to be here? Instead of taking my vacation to go on, a nice relaxing beach, here I am on my vacation, trying to sell an idea that nobody knows about. But you go to the trade show, you see other women or other men, or whoever trying to promote the ideas too, and you're like, oh wow, okay, so this can be done. So that's one, just seeing that it can be done, getting motivation from other entrepreneurs doing the same thing. And then secondly, of course, the reason why you're there is exposure, exposing your name and your brand to the buyers who would want to purchase your items. So in 2018, when we went to, I believe that was our second trade show, that's how we got exposed to Walmart.com, Macy's, Bye Bye Baby. That's how we got on all these platforms. At the time, there was also Babies R Us. They're out of business now. But that's how I got all these buyers to say, oh, okay, it's a new product and we think it's innovative enough. Would you like to come and start on our website? And so that was also validation that, okay, the trade shows are effective. I don't know how effective they are now because of the pandemic. I know a lot of trade
Mhm.
shows were closed last year and people are starting to come back up. but they still have online virtual trade shows where you can, register. There's always a registration fee. Nothing is free here, but you can meet with buyers and show them your ideas, and go from there. There are also consumer shows, like consumer, at least for the baby industry, consumer baby shows, where a lot of times you might just go just to expose your brand to moms, to get feedback on your product. So for the Change Power, I remember doing a consumer show and a lot of moms coming up and saying, "Oh, I wish I had this, or this is great. Can I get one?" And I only had samples, and I remember giving away samples because there were people, like especially moms who are like, "Please, can I have it? Can I have it?" And I'm just like, okay, I can always make one. So I guess you can. So that's encouraging because you get feedback from the audience that's actually going to utilize your product. So trade shows are key, like I said, but my evaluation of that would have to be based on current data for the times we're living in now, and I'm not too sure, but from 2018, 2019, when we did participate in them, they were very helpful in helping us get the in front of the right buyers.
Wow, that's good. I see some people, I'm just sensing some people looking up trade shows in their areas to help to market their products and bring exposure.
Yeah,
So,
and I will say some of them can be quite costly, so you have to be very selective. You
okay.
have to be very selective. So I did my research before doing the ABC Kids Expo because it was the biggest trade show at the time for the baby industry. So some people might do like smaller ones that might maybe add up, or you might do a bigger one that might help you out for the whole year. So definitely do your research because you don't want to be like trying out trade shows to trade show just to find out which one might be helpful. So talk to other people who are in the industry and see what they recommend or what has helped for them or not worked. There's some trade shows that I've gone to, and if you ask me for my feedback, I'll give you honest feedback. And I'm like, yeah, it might help you with advertising, but maybe not necessarily with sales. Or it might, one might help you with sales, but not, get it in front of, the market. So definitely do your research and see what your goal is for the purpose for which you're going to the trade show before you go, so you don't spend money that you don't intend to, jumping from one trade show to the other.
And get the biggest bang for your buck. That
Exactly.
cost money.
Yes.
How did you, so two follow-up questions from your response. How did you identify the right platform to sell your product? So if you don't know already, and if you haven't checked her out, please go online because the Change Pile is online on Macy's.com, buyebuybaby.com, and Amazon. Did you mention Walmart as well?
It's on Walmart.com. We have some of our older designs on Walmart.com.
Walmart.com.
Right.
Fantastic. How did you, first of all, where did you start off with? Did you right off the bat start off on those outlets?
Yeah, no, not at all. So, like I was saying, we started with our own website, which is mychangepal.com. So, we still have the same domain. But that's usually, I don't know about other fields, but it's usually not the best platform because nobody knows who you are, right? So, a mom isn't going to get up and then, because I came up with an idea, know that, okay, there's a product called Change Pal, let me go on your website. So usually it's more informational just to present your product when you initially start, like an online digital basically catalog. And so for us, the trade shows, like I said, helped us to connect with buyers who placed us online on these other platforms. And that's where you want to be because a lot of people shop on Walmart or Amazon or Macy's or Buy Buy Baby already. Right. So it's not like they have to go out of their way to know what my product is. If they're searching for, let's say, changing pad or portable diaper bag or travel bag, they might come across my product and then look and see if it's something that they would want to buy. So you definitely want to go outside of your own platform into these platforms that other people are more familiar with, and then just make sure that your website is up to date so that if somebody wants to support you directly, they can come on your website. Or sometimes a design might be out on Amazon, but you might still have it on your website. They can purchase from you that way. But initially it's just about getting the name of your product out. So I wouldn't be like, oh no, not that platform. Not Macy's, right? No, I would any platform that wants to sell my bags, of course within reason and everything, I would give it to them to sell it.
And do you have any particular marketing strategies? Before you answer that question, if you are on live, please go ahead and type your question. We do have a live chat as well while we're running this session. I want to hear from you. I want Mavis to be able to address some questions from our live audience. I did make that promise the last time, so I want to make sure I follow through. I have my lovely daughter, my PA, as I call her.
Oh, good.
Thank God for her life. She is monitoring the chat on.
Uh,
Go ahead and put your questions in. We'll try and answer that. I think we're already halfway through this interview. So what, do you have any particular marketing strategies? I mean, you do things online, and I know you use social media as well. Can you speak to some of that?
yeah, I think that Facebook marketing is effective to get to the audience that you need, because everybody is on Facebook and Instagram. So I think if you want to start anywhere, definitely try Facebook and IG marketing, because that's the easiest and fastest way to get your product to the consumer. It might not always be a profitable way for your product based on what it is that you're selling, but the audience is definitely there. So maybe get expert help to help you fine tune like your audience targeting and all of that. But definitely Facebook and Instagram marketing is key, because everything is online now. Even if you want to promote for one of the platforms you're already on to help drive up sales, you can always start from Facebook and direct them to Macy's.com, or Facebook and direct them to buybuy baby.com. So get to where your audience are and chilling. I think the marketing world has changed a lot. Paper prints might not be as effective depending on your product. I haven't read a newspaper, to be honest with you, that's paperback in a long time. And I know when I first started, we used to advertise our bags in like our local newspapers and stuff, but I don't think people read those as much. So definitely online is where a lot of moms are, a lot of audiences for different products really are. So I would say start there and make sure that it's cost effective, because just because you're selling products using advertisement does not always mean that you're being profitable. So you have to kind of, be very strict with how you're cutting your budgets, because Facebook and Instagram is 24 hours. You can advertise as much as you want. So you definitely want to be cognizant of budgeting and see how much is coming in, how much is going out, and really play around with that and get expert help if you need it.
Interesting. It's been such a long time since I flipped a newspaper.
Right.
And I think the millennials, as they call them,
Right.
They handle anything
Right.
form.
Right. And it used to be newspaper for everything. Like even if you were looking for a job, you would find a paper and look in the work section. But yeah, everything is online now. So you definitely want to make sure that your ads are going to the right people, and where they are searching for products and ideas. Yeah.
That's right. If you had a redo, so you've been in business for almost 11 years now. Amazing. You've persevered. You're doing it. You are doing it. But if you took a look back, consider some of the mistakes that you made or things that could have done it differently. Do you have any particular scenario you can highlight to us, and tell us what was the ultimate lesson that you learned from that experience?
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I would say just be careful of like advertisers who overpromise, right? So if you can't sell your product, they might not be able to sell it faster than Obviously for like the digital IT stuff, yes, outsource help. But there's a lot of people you would meet who will talk big talks. Hey, I know exactly how to get your product to the right buyers and this and that. And as a new business person, you don't know any better. So you're just like, yes, please help me, and you're like, yes, it will cost this much. And you're like, okay, there you go. And then you try them out and their result isn't any more different than you, and you've just dished out money. So I would just say that just be cognizant of people who always overpromise. If it's too good to be true, it's probably not true, because every market has a growth rate. And the more money you put into marketing, yes, the more you're going to sell, but does not mean you're being profitable.
Mm.
So definitely, look at your market, see what it takes to compete in the market, to get in front of your audience, and do that research well, so that when someone comes to you and they say, hey, if you pay me $1,000, I'm going to sell 100 pieces of your bag or whatever, that you can say, okay, what's your marketing budget? If you want $2,000 to sell 100 bags, I can do that myself without paying you. You know what I mean? So just getting to know, the rate of of sales or growth or whatever you can achieve in your market based on what you are investing in, getting to know that that's normal for your rate, so that you're not pulled here and there by so many marketing people. That's always a challenge. It's still a challenge to this day, because you have a fear of missing out, right? The way that things are presented, it's like, if you don't do this, years of your business are going to go away. But if you do it, everything is going to be fine. You're going to be selling millions, and and no, it doesn't work like that. Business is usually systematic. You should be able to predict your growth, you know based on maybe marketing, based on, if you had maybe two more full-time people, how many much more work can you put out. You have to be able to predict these things in a systematic way, so that outsiders don't give you false information.
Forecasting. Wow. I think, and it's so easy to be swayed
Yes,
because of
yes,
anxiety. You're
yes,
anxious, you're
yes,
nervous.
yes,
So I guess these folks can smell that from afar and just take
yes.
complete advantage of people just starting off.
Right. And I mean, everybody who's a startup wants to not be a startup, right? So that is also their marketing scheme to get startups, because they're like, you can get out of the startup phase and, actually do well if you bring me in or whatever. So yeah, just definitely be careful, because you'd be surprised. There could be even advertising agencies who might not even know what they're doing at all, and their job is just to present you um, with the picture that they do. So just be careful.
Be careful. So where do you see your business 5 years from now? Talk about forecasting. Where do you
Right.
see how I know you talked about some of the products that you started working on during your downtime. I use that word really loosely during 2020, but where do you see your business? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, so my goal is not a sprint, you know. I don't know how long it'll take to break through to the market. So my goal is to just keep what I'm doing at a pace that is realistic for me, that is not stressful, that doesn't drain my resources in an unrealistic way, to bring products that are safe and effective, and products that would benefit, moms. So everything takes time. I want to make sure that um, the bags would do what they would do, and we make quality products. So I just want to grow at my pace and leave the rest to God. I am also an audience of the Change Pal journey just as much as you are, because like I said, I am a full-time working, professional. And so what I invest in is what I can, and the resources I have around me to grow the business is what I can. So we'll do it at that pace until God says otherwise. And that's basically my investment plan. Just like you invest, gradually into a 401k or an IRA or whatever. That's basically the approach I'm taking here. We're gonna do it slow and steady and with excellence, and just see how it goes.
And this has been self-financed. Mavis?
Most of it.
Amazing. So you're
Hmm.
slow and steady and staying focused. I
Hmm.
love it. We do have a question from our audience. Are your bags produced here in the United States, and how profitable is that compared to manufacturing abroad? Let's talk
Right.
about that. I love that question.
Yeah, so I can't speak to other products, but definitely for things like accessories like bags and all of that, totes and whatnot. I think a lot of those products are manufactured overseas. So our bags are made in China. Um, I haven't tried other countries so far, but when we did our estimates to make it here, there was just no way we could make it at the time. I haven't gone back to do the research again to see how practical it is to manufacture it here in the U.S. But at the time, I believe the last estimation was in 2018. We were definitely not going to be able to sell the bag at an affordable price for a versatile portable diaper bag.
So what were the challenges that you faced in manufacturing a product in China? Like if I wake up and I want to produce a bag, I want to, make this
Girl,
bag.
I got stories for days. I got stories. Okay, you don't even want to know, but it's you wanna make sure that you're dealing with a reputable company overseas. And so I was really blessed because a girlfriend of mine who's also an entrepreneur actually went there, and I was going to take the trip with her, but I think I was pregnant with one of my kids, maybe the second or third. So I couldn't make it to that trip. But she actually went there and did her research and went to the factories, saw the people, had an interpreter with her. So that is the best and effective way to make sure that you are dealing with a company that's reputable, that's going to do what they say they're going to do. Other than that, you might fall into a couple stories that I have when I first started, where I mean anybody can have a factory in anywhere. You don't know. So you really have to just make sure that you're dealing with a reputable company that's gonna do right by you. And if you do, usually it works out fine. But you need to do your research before you invest huge amount of money into a factory.
So you need somebody on ground if it's going to be abroad.
You at least once, at
Okay.
least once. The factories that worked out really well were ones that were personally recommended to me, where somebody personally saw a factory and saw people and workers and everything. Yes. Not to say that you can't make the connection online, because I think a lot has changed. They have like different platforms where factories have to be verified through different processes. So I think that has changed. But I just would rather not learn, that, oh, oops, because it involves a lot of money and investment,
Yeah.
to produce and manufacture bags in large quantities. So you want to make sure that your factory is legit, basically.
Basically. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Offline, I love to hear some of those wonderful stories.
Oh, I got stories for days.
Dealing
Yeah.
with trying to produce a product in China.
And then
Yeah.
also the language barrier, that is a problem, because sometimes the way we translate or the way we say things is translated differently. So always rephrasing like what you want, even with like good reputable companies, you always want to make sure that your points are clear and it's being interpreted the same way that
Hmm.
you are sending out. So obviously the language barrier, the distance, the cost with shipping products, changes in tariffs and taxes depending on who is in the administration at the time can change what you use to price your items before. So there's a lot of challenges, but overall, when we worked out our bags, at least for my field, it was very difficult to be competitive.
I love that language. Even in English, things get lost in translation.
Yes, yes, yes. So you can imagine, yes.
I can only imagine. And your
Yeah.
product is a vegan, is made of a vegan product. How did you
Yeah.
make that choice? Right.
Well, there's a lot of research out there that over time shows that, different substances are not healthy for you. And so, that's part of the research you have to do. What are moms looking for? A lot of moms now just don't want stylish bags, and I can attest to that. I'd rather wear something that's really ugly, even and safe for me and my baby, than wear something that's stylish and has harmful chemicals. And so, a lot of those chemicals have been identified in certain materials, and so
Mm.
we wanted to pick one that is safer, and PU leather, is a vegan leather that, doesn't have a lot of these, harmful substances that we worry about. So I wanted the bags to be made out of a material that is safe, so that mom has that assurance we've put that thought into that as well. It's not just a shiny, plastic full of, chemicals and whatnot. So it's important to me as a mom, and I know moms care about that too.
We absolutely do. You really thought about the mom making and improving on the change pal. It's amazing. You've covered so much. It's safe. It looks great. Utility wise, it's fantastic. I'm so amazed. What is your why? We're again, the hour is over. I feel like we just zipped through this. I can't believe
I know, I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. Ah, I'm so tempted to continue to, but I have to commit to my hour for my audience. But what is your why? I like to ask some of my guests. What's your why? What's your driving force? What's your motivational factor? What has kept you persevering through the ups and the downs these past 11 years?
Right, right. So I don't think I have one why. I would say that if God gives me the ability to do something, I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
Right. And I think, there's a parable of the talents. God gave like different people different talents to do things. And, there was one guy who got one, and he's just like, I was so afraid that, you'll come back and ask me for your talent back. So I hid it. I hid it because I was so scared that I'm going to lose it. And I don't want to lose or not use any talent that God has given me because I'm scared. I'd rather use it and fail than say that I'm really scared to invest my money into a product that I believe in because I was scared that I might fail. Failure is always, part of the picture. But I think, so long as God, gives me the ability to be able to do it, why not? It means, I am manifesting his glory and his ability to use me in a different way. So that's my why. God gives me the strength, the idea. Why hide it in my brain? Bring it out. It will help someone. There are many moms and people without kids who tell me about how they love the change file and how it helps them organize and makes their life easier. There's a review somebody left about how they bought it for their dad's ostomy supplies, and it's easy to not forget anything when they leave the house. This is, a use of the bag that I didn't think of when I was creating it, but because I was willing to put my idea and my risk behind the bag, it helps somebody that I would never meet. And that's what life is about, what we're doing now. If I didn't do change I wouldn't be here talking to you. So I just want God to be glorified in my life, not just in one area, but in all areas of my life. And if he gave me the idea and he's allowing me to have even the ounce of strength to be able to do it, an ounce of resource to try it, why not? The outcome isn't always, predictable to us, but try it, do it, and be kind along the way, right? Because, that's why we're here, to impact, other people's lives, and have the journey be worthwhile, not just to you, but to everybody around you.
Well said. Amen to that. I mean, what a fantastic way to wrap this all up because that's why I'm doing what I do.
Mhm.
Mavis, you've said it
Yes.
so beautifully. Thank you for
Yes.
putting it so wonderfully well
Yeah.
packaged.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
thank you. Thank you.
thank you for that. How can people reach you? How can first of all contact you if they wanted to ask you some follow-up questions from some of what you shared? Maybe they've got an idea that's similar to what you're doing, want to put out a product out there. And secondly, again, just remind our viewers how they can get the change file. By the way, A friend of mine did tell me that after our last discussion, she had some baby showers
All right. Awesome.
planned for the summer and thinking about purchasing your change pal as a
Oh,
baby shower gift.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you, friend.
Thank you, friend. But yes, please go ahead and tell people how they can contact you.
Sure. So email is info@mychangepal.com. Info@mychangepal.com. And for the purchase of the Change Pal, you can get that on mychangepal.com. Mychangepal.com, that has all the designs. You can also find them, like we said, on buybuy.baby.com if you want to put it like on the registry. There's also Macy's.com and Walmart.com. But our main push is for mychangepal.com because that is our website.
Yay!
Yay.
Can you just show us that?
And on Amazon Prime.
Whoa!
Forgot that. Amazon Prime.
Fantastic. Can you just show us that product again, your change pal?
Yes. So Change Pal, okay, you can wear it as a backpack or you can wear it as a crossbody bag for easy on the go with your baby or by yourself. You know, if you want to go get that manicure done, just make sure you got it.
Come on now. Come on. Yes.
And you're out and about, hands-free, you know, that's what it's all about. Just convenience and, you know, 3 compartments, different colors. So depending on where you go, you might not find all the designs. So just be patient with us because we are a small company that manufactures in smaller batches.
But you're doing it. You are doing it, Mavis. And like I told you the last time, very proud of you. Highly inspired by you. I really am, and so honored that you've taken out this time to be with me, not once, but twice, to speak, you know, to me and inspire our listeners as well. So may God bless you.
God bless you, Jane. Yeah, God bless you for what you're doing, giving this platform and your time and your energy and your care to impact other people. You know, may God bless you. And because of what you're doing, I'll come back anytime. Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So really, I applaud you for what you are doing as a ministry too. You know, so the honor is actually mine.
I love you. You know I love you. Thank you so
much. Love you too.
And you, my listeners, my followers, people that have been following me, encouraging me. I've received a lot of encouragement through my journey, gotten a lot of feedback of how this is impacting you, some feedback, also advice, criticism. I'm open to criticism. I want to thank everyone, all of you, every one of you would tune in or you listen to the replays. It means so much to me. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this content, today's content and the prior context, please make sure you are subscribed and share this with a friend or to encourage them to subscribe as well. We had a giveaway our last session. I'm not sure anyone qualified for that, and I want to, with Mavis's permission.
Yes.
So want to have that giveaway. Let's do that again. If you love what you just heard from Mavis, please go ahead and share it on your whatever social media platform. Share a link to this interview. Tag myself at Janet's Pick. Tag Mavis as well at Change Pal. Take a picture if you ordered the product. Please do that, and we will we'll contact you first of all, get your mailing address, and make sure we send Mavis's amazing Change Pal product over to you. Thank you so much. Just as a token. Thank you so much, my listeners. My time is up. Love you so much. Thank you, Mavis.
This is wonderful, Jane. This is wonderful.
It's wonderful. I've had so much fun doing this. Thank you all, my listeners, and catch us again. Watch out for announcements for my next interview. Take care and have a lovely, lovely weekend ahead. Bye. Bye.